everybody, Elirra here. So today I would like to talk about the updates that happened yesterday on March 24th. When I looked at the dev feed, I saw that late download said that they added Pliarys and Exotide to the rotation store. Boscuro, Imayorn, and Veladora were moved from the rotation store to the mutation gacha. Emolus was moved from the rotation store to the Galaxy gacha. East posted that Pliarys will be appearing in the rotation store as an uncommon, while Exotide will be a common. Here is Pliarys as a glimmer. I think that's really pretty. So Arithia said, here we are with the new skin variants. We have, from left to right, albinistic, melanistic, shadowed, and diamond variants. These will not come this weekend, as we heard players wanting to also potentially preserve glimmer, or will be able to not wear their variant if they choose. So we'll be likely working on this a bit longer, but these variants are super fun. So personally, I like the albino. I think melanistic is okay, and I really like the diamond. I am not a fan of shadowed. So let me know in the comments what you guys think about these variants. I don't know how I feel about getting them. I like the albino though. Okay, so next let's see what we have here. So here's the diamond on what looks like the queen. That was pretty. Alright, as far as the glimmers go, these new glimmers aren't necessarily glimmer region specific. These are full body overlays, which in the future will be more interesting. They are incredibly rare, even more so than our current glimmer. We are working on more fun RNG mutated skin variants in general, and are looking at, in the future, a way to toggle them if you find them too much. I am kind of excited about that, and I like the idea of being able to toggle them on and off. So that's about it for the updates. There wasn't a whole lot, and I am really looking forward to these skin variants personally. So let's move on to talking about the creatures. The Pliarys is a tier 4 terrestrial herbivore. The species is available in the rotation store only. The stored version is available in the trial creature shop for 937 shooms. The description states that the Pliarys are large, giraffe-like creatures that prefer to live in herds. They are of a peaceful nature and will only attack if provoked. Pliarys often roam large, open plains as adults and stay in more forested areas when young. They possess large crystalline structures on their backs that are chemically similar to quartz. These structures provide protection from predators and act as stores for vital minerals. Pliarys are more active in the evening with 4 well-developed eyes for seeing in low light. For you role players out there, the creature behavior states that Pliarys graze from trees. However, they will occasionally drink nectar from large flowers or eat termites when the opportunity arises. The appearance of the Pliarys. The Pliarys heavily resemble a giraffe or horse, with large tufts of fur on their chest and tail, and turquoise crystals growing from its back and top of its tail. It has a thin snout with a long tongue similar to that of an anteater. It has a furry crest on the top of its head going up its neck and fish-like fin near the base of its tail. The males have 2 short decorations on their jaw, and the females have 4 long decorations on their rear. The abilities of the Pliarys are Defensive Paralyze, Keen Observer, and Mud Placer. If you do not need an explanation of these abilities, skip to this time. Defensive Paralyze is a passive ability that inflicts a paralyzing effect on creatures that attack the user for about 4 to 5 seconds, causing the attacker to become unable to move, but will still allow them to attack. Unlike other abilities, Defensive Paralyze will only work when bitten. There's a % chance that it will take effect per bite, as can be seen on the creature info box. Keen Observer is a passive ability that allows the user to see the health of nearby creatures and itself as a green HP bar over them. It also includes the ability to see the raw bleed and poison and radiation sickness, but not sickness, values on the creature that is unaffected by modifiers such as laying down or moving, which halves and doubles the perceived value respectively. Mud Placer is an active ability. You can place a mud pile that lasts 60 seconds. Creatures can wallow in the mud with N to double their debuff healing rate and increase their health regen rate by 25%. A little trivia. The original concept and redesign was by Happy Poltergeist on the Creatures of Sonaria Discord. The Pliarys was inspired by crystals, giraffes, and dire horse from the movie Avatar. The original model was by Catboy Nathan. Animations are by Blackberry Jam. Pliarys was previously declared a scrapped creature before receiving a second redesign, after which it returned to in development status. So that's it for the Pliarys. Let's move on to Exotide. Exotide is a Tier 2 semi-glider carnivore. The species is available in the rotation store only. The stored version is available in the trial creature shop for 262 shooms. The description states that the Exotide species has evolved solely for the purpose of that to be in the environment of the air and sea, being quite the aggressive type whenever it comes to protecting their kin and territory and fighting furiously when they do. For you role players out there, the creature behavior states that despite their rough and mean look, Exotide are quite social animals and enjoy the company of their own species, even showing self-sacrificing behaviors when it comes to their loved ones. Exotide have a similar intelligence level to that of real-life dolphins and other high-intelligence species, being able to experience fun and play with things like that of a dog playing with a chew toy or picking up specific things and dropping them onto creatures for fun. The Exotide species is mainly made up of females who are dominant in both hierarchy and hunting. Their ancestors used to be seafloor dwellers that would feast upon algae and kelp, but due to large amounts of sea predators hunting them into lower number, they had ended up striving to evolve onto land, sooner or later evolving into Exotide's current state. The abilities of the Exotide are Bleed, Bleed Defense, Streamlined, and Water Breath. If you do not need an explanation of these abilities, skip to this time. Bleed is a passive offensive ability where a creature inflicts a specific amount of bleed status to a creature with every bite. This particular passive offensive is resisted by creatures with the Bleed Defense ability, and it does not work against creatures with the Unbreakable ability. The opposite of the Bleed passive ability is Thorns. Bleed is a status effect which stops health regeneration and deals raw damage to the victim every 3 seconds. Like Poison, your HP cannot fall from this status if you are sitting, cowering, or laying down while gravely injured below 10% max health. But unlike it, depending on how you move and what pose you are using, damage output and level changes. While sitting, laying down, or cowering, visible bleed halves, and base bleed healing speed increases. Staying still and upright only makes the bleed heal itself at a moderate pace. Walking stops the bleed to heal on its own, and running not only increases the apparent bleed level by 1.375 approximately, but makes it slowly increase on its own. It also follows a 3-stage severity system. On this case, depending on the base amount of the bleed multiplied by a factor, which is what you see on screen. Stage 1, which is 0 to 10 bleed. Health regeneration is disabled, plus raw damage except if below 10% health, while sitting or lying. Stage 2, 1 to 20 bleed. Stage 1 affects and decreases stamina regeneration by 25%. Stage 3, beyond 21 bleed, with no longer a max of 30 while stationary. Stage 1 affects, but buffed slightly, plus a stamina regeneration decrease by 50%. Bleed defense. Bleed defense is a passive ability that allows creatures to resist the effects of bleed. It is percentage based. For example, if an attacker deals 5 bleed per hit and the receiver has 60% bleed defense, then the receiver gets only 2 bleed of that 5. If a creature's bleed defense is 100%, then they are immune to bleed done by melee direct attacks once fully grown. This ability is gained gradually as the creature ages. That is, a creature with 100% bleed defense will have some fraction of bleed defense while growing, being such fraction bigger as it grows. Streamlined. Streamlined is an ability which buffs the player when submerged underwater for more than 15 seconds. When the player is submerged in water for 15 or more seconds, they will receive the following buffs: 25% more speed, 100% more stamina regeneration, 100% more total stamina, 25% slower hunger drain. Water breath. Water breath is an active ability using the breath control that is a type of elemental breath that inflicts 1.2 DPS, sapped energy, and blurred vision on targets. If the user's stamina is depleted, target has 10% of their health sapped and returned to the user of the ability. A little trivia. The concept was by _the Angel Dragon in the Creatures of Sonaria Discord. Exotide's name came from the portmanteau of exoskeleton and tide. The animations were by Blackberry Jam and Rook. Okay guys, so that's it for the creature descriptions. I'm going to be giving one of each of these away. There's going to be 2 winners, 1 to each person. All you have to do is like the video and comment with your username and display. If you like my content, I would really appreciate it if you would sub. It's not a requirement, but I would really appreciate it. And it really helps me out a lot with YouTube algorithms. And obviously, it just helps me out in general. So that's about it. There weren't a lot of updates this week, but there's some really fun stuff on the way. That's about it. So thank you for watching. Be kind to one another, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye!